Beat them senseless.
You and me and you, we gonna throw down. That's right, we gonna get serious.
You can run, but you can't hide.
It's time for the Fuller Broadcast with your host, Jeff Fuller.
Hey everybody, Jeff's not here right now, he's working, but I have a special podcast for you tonight. We're going to bring on my friend Reuben Bam Roundstone. How are we doing, brother?
Doing great. Can you still see me by chance?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can
All right.
definitely see you. How are you doing today? What you up to today?
Doing pretty good. Just cutting the remainder of the weight, getting ready for fight night, same as usual.
Definitely. So we're going to get this started for the fans here. So where are you from and what gym do you represent, my man?
Well, I'm originally from Busby, Montana, but I've trained all over Montana. I've trained out of the Grindhouse. I've trained out of Eight Limbs Muay Thai, Electric City Boxing Club, New Level Boxing out of View. But currently I'm located in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I'm training out of Fight City, SLC.
Definitely. And who's your management team? Who's representing Reuben right now?
My management is CMC management with Kerry Carlo or Carlos Leon.
Carlos. Okay, I know Carlos. Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
It's my
boy.
boy.
What kind of experience do we have? Are you a wrestler, kickboxer, jiu-jitsu? What do you specialize in?
Well, a lot of people don't know this, but I'm actually a black belt in karate, and I actually have my purple in jiu-jitsu, and everybody looks at me and they're like, it's this dude who bare knuckle boxes, but they don't even understand the full background. But I'm all around. I particularly like to brawl because, I'm from the reservation. It's where dirt hits the sand and, it's where it gets scrappy. So, yeah.
Definitely. That sounds like, you just came from a fighting spirit and just kind of took over with it. Just let it ride. It's in the bloodline.
Man, that's Native Americans.
Definitely. And what tribe are you from?
I'm Northern Cheyenne.
Oh, definitely. Northern Cheyenne. Shout out Cheyenne Nation.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. So when is your next fight, my man? I know you got something coming up you're cutting weight for. Tell everybody where they can see you at.
So I am fighting this weekend, March 29th in Idaho Falls, Idaho. I am the co-main event for Fierce Fighting Championship. This will be my 15th, maybe 14th main event as a pro. But yeah, you can watch it on fiercefightingchampionship.com. They have a pay-per-view on their own website. They even have an app. Fierce Fighting Championship app. You can get the app and watch it on there as well. Or if you're in Idaho Falls, Idaho, you can hit my ticket link on the Fierce Fighting Championship page. And, it helps with the commission, and you get great pricing. I was actually on that earlier today to give some extra tickets, and, man, you get a great cut from it.
Definitely. So it sounds like if you guys are out there in the area or looking around online for something to do this weekend, you might want to check Reuben out over there, guys. So how did your last fight go, Reuben? How did your last fight go, and where was it at?
My last fight kind of didn't go my way. I fought here in Salt Lake City. I fought I don't want to push names around and talk shit, but I fought Salt Lake's Golden Boy, the man of the show, Kent Mafaleo. I fought him in his own backyard. I fought him at the Masonic Temple here in Salt Lake City. I was kind of a tough fight. I don't like making excuses. He was the better man that night, but the whole situation was just tough. This past couple months have been tough. These past 9 months, almost close to a year, have been pretty tough for my family. But he got me fair and square. It was a week after my son's surgery, so I wasn't like in the right mindset of, cutting weight. I missed weight. That kind of like, it's kind of like the reason why I am here now. Crossing all the T's, dotting my I's, and making sure I'm ready this go around. Nothing to get on my, how would you say, my demeanor or anything. So getting everything all up and ready and going this time.
So I'd like to talk a little bit about that. Would you like to let everybody know what you've got going on and everything, and how your son's doing? Give us a little update.
So my son was born July 1st of 2024. He was born with trisomy 18. It's a genetic disorder. He was born with a couple birth defects. I know when people hear the word birth defect, they think of all the most fucked up answers in the world, but this all started from when he was conceived. That's when all your genetics go which way and that way, and he got an extra chromosome, and kind of didn't go his way. He had a heart defect that kind of was our first hurdle. Well, I shouldn't say it was the first hurdle, but it was our first goal to get to. But his first hurdle really had to be he had to get trach surgery, a G-tube surgery. He had a couple hernias because trisomy babies, in his case particular, he was born premature. So it all wasn't, he didn't get the good cards in the beginning. But we spent 2 months in the Billings NICU, kind of crying our eyes out and kind of moping on life and trying to figure out that whole mess over there. And then with the help of the Lord and Savior, he sent us to Salt Lake City to Primary Children's Hospital. And the rest is history after that. My son got here at primaries in September. Then he got his first surgery. It was a big moment for all of us. Something really that I think about, I still kind of get emotional about. It was actually the first time I got to see my son's face. He had an air mask on him since birth. And then after his trach surgery, he just looked a lot more comfortable. He was breathing better. He looked at me and he smiled, and I knew that it clarified to me that we were in the right place. And then fast forward to December, he had his heart surgery, his open heart surgery, to repair VSD, and then now he's doing great. We just started home vent trials last night. That was a very scary moment for me, from going from a hospital vent to a home vent. A very big change, but it's a big change for the future. I am very optimistic, and I'm very proud of my son that we actually have gotten this far. Since birth, I think so far we have gotten about 5 death talks, or talks about my child's life. And for a parent, it's devastating. But when you're in these type of situations, you can no longer look at your feelings and how you feel, and especially with older children. So you get to cry for about a good 30 seconds and then shake it off, put a smile back on your face, and keep moving forward.
Yeah, it sounds to me like you guys are in the right state of mind, and it sounds to me like you guys are in very good hands now with the care and the company you guys are with. And I really, from everybody at the broadcast here, we really wish you the best, and we really hope that
Thank you, brother.
everything works out, and that
It means a lot.
he really excels and makes a full recovery, and
Well,
we
at the
really,
moment, the big one, our next big hurdle is about like 2 weeks ago. He had an ultrasound and an MRI. And, they found a tumor in his liver, and they call that a hepatoblastoma. and that's kind of our next hurdle. But trisomy 18, it's a very, very weird diagnosis. Very rarely studied. But with that diagnosis, the tumors won't grow as fast, so we got time,
Yeah.
and that's kind of all really what we're working with, and really giving my son the best quality of life, and spending time with him, and getting to be there, and, getting to be parents with him. This always gets me emotional, but like some parents when they get to visit their children, they get to change their diapers. And, I didn't get to change my son's diaper until he was a month old, and when I did, man, it just puts everything back into perspective of life. Yeah, dude, like I don't look at being a dad like how I used to. A year ago from now, it's a complete 360, 180 of what I thought of being a dad was. And yeah, dude, I'm here fighting for my. I really hate saying it, but it's the real factor. I'm here fighting for my son's life.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I can't say that I understand how you feel, but I can definitely say that I empathize towards what you have going on, and you have my deepest sympathies and condolences and prayers.
Thank you,
And
brother. Man, it really does really mean a lot.
we're always here for you. If you ever need to reach out to talk to us, any of us, we'd be glad to we'd be glad to bend an ear for you, man. Always, always from dad to dad, bro. I got 5 kids running around, out here, and they're love them to death, man. And it's
I
one of
know.
those things. Like I'm here, I'm here for you, man, because dad's got to stick together.
Most definitely, man. And that's what I really found here a lot. When you're in the NICU, you get to meet like a whole bunch. When I first heard the word NICU, or the abbreviation of NICU, I always thought, I'm never going to go there, or my children are never going to go there. I had a set of twins, and they didn't even spend an hour in the NICU. So, like, the NICU was a very foreign and very scary place for me. I thought, that's where the sickest of the sick go. And I got kind of dealt those cards with my son. And you look at the NICU in a different view. It's a very life-saving place. It's a place where, I try to not cry at these moments, but it's where angels are literally working like miracles, man.
The best of the best people.
Oh yeah, dude. It's crazy the things that those people do. A lot of us, we had just prayer and hope, and yeah, dude, they work miracles in those places. It's a
Oh, yeah.
life-saving place. And the Ronald McDonald House, I can't even say enough about the Ronald McDonald House. They've legit saved my family's life. We've been here in Salt Lake City for, I think, going on 7 months now. And dude, it's been life-saving. I couldn't have imagined if I had to pay out of pocket. I do know some families in the NICU right now who are doing that, and it's very sad, but it's also very motivating to watch, because we all have a story, we all have a reason, and a reason to fight. And mine's name Atlas.
Definitely the most noble cause of all, family.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So what is your training like, Reuben? What do you normally do? Do you go to the gym and hard spar? Do you hit the bag? Do you just run? What's a we'll say a training camp for you like, boss?
Man, dude, it's crazy that here in a couple of days, that when I fight, I've actually been doing this for almost 15 years. And like 15 years ago, I would have told you like, oh, dude, all I do is spar. All I do is spar. But now it's really it's very technical. I go into a camp with very, very strategically. I kind of check on, see how my opponent kind of really is, what he brings to the table. and what I bring to the table. And then I kind of come up with a mathematical kind of equation of what to do. Like this camp, I really focused on my movement and my striking because I knew he was a very heavy striker, and I really focused on my takedown. And I really did my takedown defense because I got a lot of assholes on Tapology saying that I have a shitty takedown defense. And I'm going to change that this fight. I swear to God, I'm changing that shit.
Cow catcher, buddy. Cow catcher.
Oh, yeah, dude. I'm going to wizard the shit out of this guy.
That's right.
But,
Absolutely.
yeah. Very, very technical. But yeah, I go into it very strategically. I kind of really think of what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it. But of course, I do hard sparring. I actually sparred pretty much this whole camp until about, I don't want to really say it, until about a week ago. But that's just something that you do as a professional. You know, you learn, you go through these trials and tribulations, and you really figure out what's, you know, works for you. And, you know, I have a pretty mathematical plan that really works for me.
When did you start fighting?
I started fighting at 15 years old. Big shout out to Ernest Littlebird. His name is Earn Dog on our res. He had this little local organization called Res Brawl. And Res Brawl, man, dude, they used to, it was wild back in them days in Montana. But he would rent out a little gym. Of course, people from the reservation would pack out that gym. He would get like a 10, 12 fight card. And it wasn't like these dudes knew they're going to fight each other for months or weeks. It was like that day, it was a legit smoker on the reservation. But it would be a mix of MMA, boxing, and Earn Dog, one of his guys' opponent dropped out. I think the guy was like 200 pounds. I was 190, 195 soaking wet. And I was just down to fight. I wouldn't really call him a trainer. He was a really close friend at the time. His name was David Satterwhite. And yo, David, if you see this, your boy has mad respect and love. But yeah, David Satterwhite, he's the guy who found Bam Roundstone. He's like, dude, get in there. I'll sign as your parent. Yeah, dude. The rest is history since then, man. That was 15 years ago. So, yes, I'm turning 30 this weekend.
I've been fighting since 2009, brother. I'll be 35 this year, and I feel it. I feel it now. I'm telling you, I feel it now. I fought.
I don't make jokes no more, man.
I fought from 145 all the way up to freaking heavyweight, bro. And I'm going to tell you right now, my body, I don't make old guy jokes no more because I'm turning into that old guy. Those kids that I used to be, that kid that I used to be at the gym talking trash to people, this, that, and other. Oh, what's up, Unc? What's up, Unc? Yeah, now people call me Unc, and I feel like shit.
Yeah, you know my feeling.
Yes, I do, bro. And I mean, I had like 100+ amateur fights, bro. I would show up to a freaking state fair and fight in a tough man contest, fight 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
And like,
I fought my shit.
They used to allow you to do that shit. And all you had to do is just sign a waiver saying that you weren't going to sue nobody.
Yep. I used to fight 3 times in one night.
Hell yeah.
Now that's considered like, man, dude, like inhumane.
Woo! Oh man, I don't think that there's a state that would sanction a tournament event like that because remember they talked about the UFC doing a tournament for the BMF belt thingy for like Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, and a couple other people. There's no commission in the world that's going to sanction it. Maybe Japanese.
Oh yeah, dude, somebody would die.
Somebody might sanction that overseas, but they're not going to sanction that here in the USA because, like,
no way.
There's so many Karens that's going to sue somebody for some shit, and it's just not cool, you know? So would you like to shout out some of your sponsors, Reuben?
Yeah. I would like to really shout out my main man, John Schultz, over at Queen's Palace. Queen's Palace has really been a lifesaver in my career. They kind of came in about a year and a half ago. And dude, John is legit like become like family to me. And I've only met him like once in my whole entire life. So, John, love you, brother. Thank you for everything that you do for my family and continue to do. I'd also like to shout out Justin Kahn at Sober Up Productions. Um, Low key, he's helped me out hugely, tremendously. I have a piece of Layla's garden with me, constantly. So huge shout out from the support and everything that Sober Up Productions does, and Justin Kahn. I also like to shout out New Level Boxing, Steve Chai. The dude's a madman. He's a genius. He's a former coach of world champ Sugar Sean O'Malley. And man, the things that he's creating with these fight shorts and all this fight gear is beyond amazing. So if you ever have a chance, go check out newlevelboxing.com. I give a lot of props to them. They're going to take over the world. I don't like to say that they're going to be like this or like this guy because they're going to be their own identity. And also go check out Next Level Boxing. It's a little production made right underneath them. And, I'm trying to be a big ambassador for both. So go check out New Level Boxing and Next Level Boxing. And then I also want to shout out Superb Flooring, my family, in Butte, Montana, Vivian and PJ Gustafson, and all the Gustafsons and Chris and all them guys over there at Superb Flooring. Huge shout out. They legit like took me in like family. I'm just tremendously thankful for them for these past years, and even today they legit, are making the Roundstone era afloat. Another huge shout out to Harvey Singh and Singh Contracting. If you need your roofing, siding, and gutters done in Montana, North Dakota, and all those surrounding areas around there, check out Singh Contracting. Man, the dude does amazing work. He legit loves what he does, and the dude just loves people. And legit, the dude's a BKFC fighter. So hit up Harvey Singh and Singh Contracting. And man, I'm put on the spot here. I remember I always try to write this down on a card, but I want to shout out Montana Personal Counseling. It's a kind of sub off of Coleman Community Services. I want to shout out Dimitri Johnson and my boy Marvin Coleman. Those guys do a lot for the Roundstone era. And a huge shout out to Marvin Coleman. He's also an ambassador for New Level Boxing. This morning I had a few problems with, or I should say problems, but I had a few hiccups with my corners. They had family problems come up and personal injuries and, all this, come up, and I'm totally cool with it. And my boy Marvin, I knew he would be the light and savior and, step up short notice and, come all the way out to Idaho Falls. So shout out to Marvin Coleman. Man. Oh, yeah, I want to shout out my aunt, Alicia Bigback and Sisters Fry Bread. Go check out Sisters Fry Bread. They're going to be taking over the whole new Northwest with catering. They go to powwows. They cater weddings. They cater everything. So if you need a caterer, go check out Sisters Fry Bread. And then, I have to hit it with lastly but not least, I want to shout out my boy Gail Lammers at Lammers Trading Post. This dude has been with me since the beginning. He's been with me for the past, 15 years of my career. He's supported me in some way, somehow. And now he's in the legislative branch of Montana. So, but there's people there still at Lammers taking care of the Tim Hortons and, all the ponds and all the teepees and all the horse tack. So go check out Lammers Trading Post. They have everything you need. They have sweet grass, beads, and most importantly, that Tim Hortons coffee. And lastly, I want to thank you, brother. I want to definitely thank you for, having me on the show and everything else, brother. And all my fans. And really, I really want to shout out my wife. She's been the rock through all of this. She's really supported me and, kept this, career going. About like a couple months ago after I fought Josh, I really thought about my career. And she sat me down and she said, Reuben, she's like, there's no fucking way we're going to let this happen. We're rolling with something. We got something. It's something big. And, we're in the BKFC right now, but we're talking about the UFC and other future endeavors. So, the Roundstone era just barely began. So, huge shout out to my wife. And then Fierce Fighting Championship for this opportunity. And again, shout out to all my fans. Love y'all.
Well, we really appreciate you coming on. So we've got a couple of questions here that I normally ask the fighters whenever I get them on here. So, who is your favorite fighter?
Mine is the OG Forrest Griffin.
All right. And what is your favorite Forrest Griffin fight?
Man, dude, I it's actually the one he lost, but I like the one with Anderson Silva. It's not just because, it's probably, it is probably because after like a few years after he talked about it, like how Anderson was very more quicker than he was. And, at the time I couldn't really say that. I thought Anderson was just whipping his ass. But, dude, like I give mad props to Forrest Griffin for even taking that fight.
It looked frustrating.
Oh, dude, it must be frustrating.
That was, that was kind of really a one-sided beating of sorts, but it was very frustrating. He landed some shots, but it was not a Forrest Griffin performance.
No.
So, if you could come up with a promotion and you could make a main event, what would your main event be? Who versus who?
Ooh, dude, I've said this over the years. I've actually almost had a promotion and made this a main event. But a big main event that I really want to see is Taj Ray versus he's one of my boys out of Helena, Montana, but he's about to go pro himself. But I would love to see him versus my other former teammate Chris Tumuns at 145 pounds. That legit would be like the definition of who is the baddest motherfucker in Montana.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That sounds great. That sounds great. So what would your dream fight be? If you could say Reuben Roundstone headlines this card versus blank, what would we got?
Man, I don't want to be a manifester or anything, but I'll say it. If Perdomo is the man who he really says he is, and I haven't really got to watch the BKFC fights yet, but I really highly suspect he's going to knock out his opponent. But if it was me and Perdomo for the BKFC heavyweight strap, that's going to be the biggest fight there ever was.
My training partner and one of my coaches.
And I know everybody in the heavyweight division in the BKFC is afraid of Perdomo, so I'm just going to talk a little shit.
That guy hits so hard because I'm going to tell you right now, I got a third-degree black belt in American kickboxing, bro. I kick hard as fuck. I kicked Bobby. Boom, 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 right? And he just shook his head and walked forward and then tagged the fuck out of me. Bro, Perdomo was moving back and hit Bobby, and Bobby went down, and I was like, oh, my God. Because, I've never seen somebody get hit like that hard backing up. It was a weird, on the outside, it was almost like he went into his power with going the opposite way of his power. It was so weird.
Yeah, Perdomo's a different beast, but that's something I'd love to go against. That's something that, wakes me up in the morning.
Shout out Bobby too, by the way. Shout out everybody over.
Oh yeah, yeah, dude.
I I want to
He's a
see that
beast.
rematch, definitely. I feel like giving Bobby a little bit of time to train and get everything going, I feel like it's going to be a much different outcome than what happened. I mean, but there's always another dog out there. You know what I mean? So,
Oh man, he had a balls of steel to step up that short notice for Perdama too. I think I got offered that, but I think Bobby took it before I did. But yeah, it was very short. It was about 2-3 weeks. I remember Perdama's opponent dropped out.
Yeah, because
that wasn't the first time Perdama's opponent dropped out.
Yeah, you can't find no video on that guy.
None.
You can't find any video on him. I do believe he's from Cuba. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep, he's a Cuban. He's an amateur, went pro in bare knuckle.
I do believe that he was on the Cuban Olympic boxing team.
Yep, that is correct.
You see, and the thing about that is you don't find that information online.
Nope.
They don't tell you that. So you're like, oh, I'm going in there fighting a guy that's never fought before. Or you're thinking, I'm fighting a guy who probably has fought before, but it's off record or old fights like what we fought. Stay fair fights, bro. When you go out and fight a motherfucker and just beat the shit out of some Tom, Dick, or Harry that thought he was tough, that never trained before in his life. And it's a different time, man, because nowadays, like I said in the interview with Chris Wilmore the other day, MMA fighters are real, and you can't tell who is who. You'll see the skinniest little worm-looking guy over there, and you know what? It's not. It's Mikey Musumeci.
Legit, dude. Legit.
And he just strangles you up, and you're like, oh, my God.
Or it's a Golovkin, dude. The dude just hits hard.
Yes. It's somebody like Triple G that just and it's just there's so many different aspects to this game now than there was whenever guys like us started, that there are kids that are born into this. You know what? Dad was an MMA fighter in the 90s, so like he fought at shows, and like now he showed me how to wrestle, blah 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 blah. And then the next thing you know, you got generations of kids doing it, and you have literal people that have been training since they were 4, 5, and they're effective. Super
some Sage Northcutt little fuckers.
Yeah, some Raul Rosas Jr. type shit.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a special one for us. Here's Jeff. You want to say something, Jeff?
What's up, man? What's up? Welcome to my podcast, man. I appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you for this opportunity.
We love having guys on, and we love trying to get people exposure and let everybody know, their story and, kind of where they come from, what they aspire to do. And I got one more good question for you here. What can we expect to see out of Reuben Roundstone in 2025?
Ooh, man, I can't really give a lot out. But this Saturday, you're not gonna want to blink. I am pulling full gas pedal on this motherfucker. He is just I don't like calling him a speed bump, but he's just a quick pebble in the road. He's done in one. And after this, I'm taking the gloves off again, and I can't really announce the location yet, but I'll be back in the BKFC. And there might be a few other things, too, in that little scenario.
Sounds like we've got some big things to come from you here this year, and everybody needs to stay tuned to see what you've got going on.
Oh, it's some big ones.
Well, we really appreciate your time, and we really appreciate you coming on, brother. I mean, it is wonderful to hear your story and hear everything that you got going on, and we'll be scheduling another podcast here with you soon after your fight.
Definitely.
We'll give you a week or so to recover, or however long you need. You just let us know. And if it's one and done, like you say, brother, you might be calling us that night from the party talking about, hey guys, check this out. We're in the winner's circle tonight. We're up here partying.
It might be.
Brother.
Well, it might. Let's see.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, and from everybody here, we have our prayers with you, and you're in our thoughts, man. We really wish the best for you and yours, man.
Where's the fucking remote?
Thank
Really
you,
like
brother.
time to thank you for coming out and coming and spending your evening with us. So thank you very
It
much.
made the weight cut way much funner.
Oh yeah. Well, we really appreciate it, boss. Just
Appreciate you. Thank
let
you.
us know whenever you get done with everything, and let us know how you do. We might be watching. You never know, brother.
Most definitely. Thank you.
Yes, sir. You have a great night. We appreciate it.
You too. Thank you.
Bye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was our special guest for the evening, Reuben Roundstone. I am Zach. That is Jeff. Wallace is somewhere at BKFC right now, and I'm not sure where Daryl's at. Thanks for stopping by, guys.
Thanks for tuning in for Fuller Broadcast. We'll see you guys this Sunday. We got a couple more interviews coming up. You guys have a good night.
Peace.